Hey y'all, what's going on? It's me, Shantae, here with Tay's Binge Reviews. And here I am back again with episode 10 review, which was the last one of season 1. As you see in the title, Love is Blind. If you have not checked out my first video, go ahead on over there, scurry over there and check it out and see and hear my open, honest review of Love is Blind season 1, episode between 1 and 9. And disclaimer, if you haven't watched the show at all, then just go ahead and turn this video off and come back after you do, because it's a whole lot of spoilers. Let's go ahead and jump right in, guys. I was super excited when the show dropped the other night, and which was yesterday night. I wanted to do a video, but I was so tired from work, so I was like, you know what? Tonight's perfect. I'm feeling the vibe, and this time, y'all, I came with all my notes. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so we open up the scene of the show back where we left off, which was on episode 9, where we see, we go into the wedding. This is all the wedding scenes. And so it comes back on where we left off, where we were left on that cliffhanger. Like I said, I couldn't stand cliffhangers, but we was left there with Damien. And he was going to say his I do or his I don't. Which made me so aggravated in this scene by everything that happened. And if you have watched the show by now, you know he said I don't. And so Gia was upset and she was really hurt, and she walked off, and he said, that he felt rightfully so, that he felt like she wasn't ready. And so I'm going to start off here with his reasoning. I understand his reason. I actually picked some of this up with her personality with Giannina. I felt like she was a little all over the place. A lot of times I felt like she kind of showed signs. Now, mind you, this show was shot in 2018. So where she is now, I'm sure she's a lot more grounded about and sure about things as far as what she wants. But for some reason, I felt like she is more like this girl where it's kind of like, I just kind of jump in there and I just do what I want to do and nobody can tell me what to do. And I'm going to speak from this standpoint of a marriage standpoint. I felt like she really was not ready for marriage the way that she thought she was. I felt like, she was ready maybe for a relationship, but not a lifelong marriage, because I think that she needed to grow more in that sense, because she showed signs of immaturity to me. So, because, she just kind of has this off like nobody can tell me what to do. And we all know in a marriage, you have to be willing to submit. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to submit in those simple fields. So that's what I felt like his reasoning. But what pissed me off, y'all, the most was the fact that he said no at the altar. You go all these scenes and all these days with this person, and you already know the signs that she was showing before this. You couldn't have told her this before this. And I understand the whole objective of the show. But let me tell you something. That camera would have followed them wherever they were. If he would have said, you know what, because he says, I love her. And I feel like he honestly still wanted to date her and kind of like court her, and maybe they could grow their trust in their relationship or whatever he needed, that more reassurance. I felt like, and I honestly, you guys, if there's a reunion or anything, I really feel like I wouldn't be surprised if they get back together. But I just feel like if you really love somebody the way that he said he loves her, you love them enough and this is for all of them, especially him, because he was like, I want to marry you. I love you like I want to marry you. I just don't feel like you're ready. I feel like if you really love somebody, you have enough respect to say, I need to pull you in this room separately. Y'all, we see it all the time on reality shows. People go behind closed doors and say they don't want someone on camera, but then the words are at the bottom and you can hear what they're saying. Their mic is still on. So I just personally feel like he could have told her, if you really love this woman and this was somebody you wanted to marry, you did not have to do that in front of everybody. Her family even came from out of town. So come on, whatever. And my last point about them and their wedding and everything. Well, for one, it broke my heart, y'all, when her mom she was destroyed. And that really broke me. To see your baby girl be embarrassed like that, But the thing that irked me when she goes to the scene and she goes, let's sit down, let's talk about this. We're going to talk and all this stuff. When he said, well, I'm sorry you took it that way. Well, how else was she supposed to take it? I mean, that made me mad. How else was she supposed to take? I don't. So whatever, to that point. So y'all, we scurrying on over to the next couple. Couple number 2, wedding was Amber and Barnett. Oh my goodness. Amber looks beautiful. I'm gonna start off with that. So when we go into the scene, it was a little iffy because Amber had got a text from Barnett prior to coming to where the venue where they were having the wedding at, and he basically was just giving her his like, I'm in, I'm kind of in, I'm kind of out. I really don't know what I want to do, which what we call here cold feet, right? So, I wrote this note here that I appreciated him texting her because of what happened before. There was no signs that, oh, dude, he never told her that he didn't want to marry her. He didn't know for sure at that point in time. She felt secure. Like there was nothing in her that felt like he was going to say that he didn't want to marry her. So I feel like I appreciate that. The part that I felt like was weird was when she said she was calling him and he wasn't answering. It's like, you've already told her that you have cold feet. Why don't you just pick up the phone and y'all can figure this out? So and Amber may be a bit much sometimes, but I will say this, she truly loves that man. And you can do a lot with that. People can change, people can calm down sometimes. But when you have somebody that truly, truly loves someone, she truly loves him, like for who he is, with his bad jokes and all, and awkwardness when it comes to that, and his player kind of ways he showed in the beginning. She truly loved him, and she always knew for sure, for certain, she wanted him. So I knew in this scene, going in without a shadow of a doubt, she was gonna say I do. Now Barnett, I did not know. So when they go into like the little flashback scene when she asked could she pick over would he pick her over his family and stuff like that, that was like a little red flag to me, just because I feel like whether if you married, when he said, well, I don't know if he would be able to pick his family over her in a situation or altercation, when stuff like that happen, when two families come mesh together like that, sometimes there's a standpoint where the family has to learn how to respect this new role that you play in their son or their brother's life or whatever. And when he said, I don't know, to me that bothered me, because I felt like this. It's not that it's just because how you met her, and your family, they feel certain ways about how you met her maybe, and maybe they might have a problem with it. But whether if you married Amber or a woman you knew for 10, 20 years, you still at some point have to pick her over them. If there's an argument, you would have to have her back versus their back, so that was just something. So then Barnett comes in and he looks so handsome. Like he was handsome in the pods, but like he looked really, really, of course this is his wedding, but like I guess because he cut his hair, and he looked it so nice. By far, out of all the dresses I've seen, Amber's dress was hands down the best. The lacing was beautiful. It was just so beautiful. I love that dress. It didn't look cheap. It looked flawless, I had, like I said, so I had no doubt that, they get to the altar. I had no doubt that she was going to say yes. Then they do that. Then they do that little suspense with Barnett, for a moment. You know how to try to play off with the scene. And then boom, he said, I do. And he said, I do 100%. He said, I do 100%. And when he said that, I started clapping, y'all. I was like, yes, we finally got a yes, everybody. We got a yes. We got our first yes. Because mind you, this is the second wedding. And the first one was a no, right? So my final review on that wedding and for that couple, it's just that I honestly they looked happy and I wish them the best. And then he made a scene. He's like, he made like a little comment about like, on the side camera, when they go off to have the conversation about how they feel. He said, today I do. I feel good today, but of course, but overall, they looked happy, and I wish them the best. So we're going to our third wedding, y'all. And like I called them in the last video, the KKs, Kenny and Kelly. Kenny is just such a sweet, sweet guy, y'all. More and more and more in the scenes as their wedding was coming apart. And when I seen his mom, we go into the scene where, well, let me backtrack a little, because when we step into this scene, Kelly is still on her, I don't know. So she's sitting down with a best friend, and they're kind of opening up, and she's kind of saying why she doesn't know if she's going to say it. She said, if I say it, I say it, and if I don't, I don't. And a thought comes in my mind, and it's starting to bother me at this point about her, because I loved Kelly from the beginning. I thought she was really cool and everything. I'm not saying that she's not, but this where I start to get annoyed, y'all, because I think for me, Kelly has to understand that you cannot compare what you had and what you have. She trying to do that from a standpoint, which when we all know her backstory, she said she was in a bad heart, a bad place, and all this different stuff like that. And now in this scene, I think I understand why she was in a bad place, and it seems like she had went through some type of heartache or heart pain, heartbreak with a man that she was infatuated with. And so, guys, I'm going to tell you guys my personal opinion about this, which all this is my personal opinion, of course, but my more deep-rooted opinion about what she said, okay, from personal experiences, is that to me, infatuation is more part of lust than it is love. And I know that from experience. You can be with somebody and you can be head over heels infatuated with this person, and the shadow of a doubt, you don't want anyone else. Like, you love them. Every time you're around them, you just feel you just want them. And then they break your heart. And then if you go into a relationship with a good man, who I can tell that Kenny, he would nurture her and give her everything that she needed just to be there for her. That's just who I think his mother raised. When his mother comes into the scene, which she just seemed to have she raised a good son. She just raised a good man. And I wish she would have appreciated that more, because we all know she said, I don't. And at this point, I realized in the show a little bit, it looked like the camera people were playing with our emotions a little bit. It looked like the person that was more for sure, that they were going to say I do. It looked like they let them say their vows first and say and stuff first. And then it looked like the second person would go. The one that it seemed like they can possibly say they don't. You know what I mean? So that always made me nervous when I seen that. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that you cannot compare something that you had that broke you to what you have now. Now, you may not, of course, the way that you met this man, you're not automatically just going to be for everybody. You may not automatically just be head over heels infatuated with him. Sometimes love grows day after day when you see the way this person loves you, and when you see the way this person cares for you. They care for you so much, and they want what's best for you. When you wake up in the morning and they do these small things for you, or whatever, you get home from work and your clothes are laid out so you could just take a bath, or you have a bubble. The more those things happen and you realize they love you so much, and they love you enough to nurture your heart and not break it, you start to love them even more. Love is just not all the time just like, oh, I'm automatically head over heels. I feel like she could have said, you know what, I just feel like instead of us getting married, we can just kind of nurture our relationship more. And that way we can courtship more and fall into that place. I personally, I pray that she didn't, but I personally feel like she might regret her decision of saying no. I felt very bad for him. The part that ticked me off the most was when the cameraman, he comes in and he steady asking him these questions about this man just got his heart broke on national TV. And then at the altar, he was left. with a woman that it seemed like out of all the couples, it seemed like to me they just before. I mean, of course, we know Lauren and Cameron was like it's like the ultimate couple, but they were another set. They were the second set to me that I felt like meshed together, all the way down to their name. So I don't know. I just really felt that, and so I just think that infatuation that she said she had, that she has to understand, infatuation to me comes with some type of control. And instead of having a pure love where it nurtures you and it cares for your heart and your soul. And that's just a point of mine that I truly, truly feel. And I think she's gonna realize one day. I could be wrong. I have not seen her social media or anything. I just honestly, y'all, I just look at Lauren and Cameron. And that's just the truth. That's my favorite couple. I think that's all of our favorite couple. But I think that she may realize that she passed up on a great man. And I hope for his sake that because he even her mother says he when after she said no and she just kind of she said I don't, and she walked off or whatever, his mom, and he goes and he turns around to everybody and he kind of just says, guys, he just said some really positive things. I can't remember everything he said. Instead of just kind of going off or stirring up, he did not do that, y'all. And her mother, Kelly's mom, turned around and said, I love this guy. I think her mama was like, what the heck? What the heck, So that's my review on them, and I wish them the best, and I know that Kenny's gonna make somebody a very, very blessed woman. Okay. So we go into the next couple, y'all. Jessica and Mark. So when the scene started with Jessica and Mark, I had this funny thought. I said, what if Mark says no? Because by this point, Kelly and Kenny didn't make it. I was thinking, what if Mark has this realization that this woman don't want you? You know what I mean? But when they go into the scene, Jessica looks super happy. She looks, and she just looks really happy. And I was like, dang, okay. I think she might say I do, whatever, And so, one thing is that, I through this, you guys, watching the scenes and everything with Mark and Jessica, I love how Mark has always been so sure from the beginning. And I respect him for that. When she doubted him about his age, when she talked him down about being a mama's boy, like just so many things she said to me could have broke this man, he was always sure about who he was and what he wanted, and that he wanted her regardless. And to me, if you're going to be married to somebody, you want to be married to somebody that no matter what, they still see past your flaws. And Mark saw Shirley past Jessica's flaws. But of course, Jessica's coming down the aisle. She's smiling. She looked it like she was lit up. Okay, y'all. She was smiling. She was lit up. And she goes into her vows. And when she goes into her vows, it felt so good to hear her say something nice and positive about that man. Out of everything that she had said about him after the fact, it felt so good. I was like, dang, it was so sweet for her to say that. But then, of course, she said, I don't. And I knew she was going to say no. I had no surprise. I was like, okay, let's go to the next. The only thing was I felt bad. I was annoyed when the bridesmaid that was sitting down there, the girl says, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed for her. What are you embarrassed for her for? You shouldn't be embarrassed for the man that she dragged along this whole time and everything, just because to me, she just wanted to make it to the end of the show. She knew from the beginning when Barnett did that to her, she did not want Mark. She did not want Mark. But she went back to Mark and she begged Mark. And then all the way to the freaking altar. Y'all, this made me so... I was annoyed. Now, I see you. This is what I was thinking about. I see who you are. You just wanted to be on TV. Just point blank. You just wanted to be. But I was glad she said no. I wish she would have just left from the beginning. Not that she's a horrible, not just, I just, because of him. You know, you did not want him. You knew you didn't want him. You kept trying to break him down piece by piece, showing you didn't want him. You know, he should have knew you didn't want him. But she didn't love him. So I didn't wish for them to get married because I don't want anybody to marry somebody that she didn't love. You know, she didn't love him. The part with him and his mom broke my heart. His mom loves him so much, and it really, really hurt her because I felt like his mom didn't really want her to marry him either, but I felt like because she loved her son so much, she was supporting him in his decision. When on the last scene when Jessica kind of said her little goodbyes to the camera, and she goes, she kind of makes a statement when she goes, saying she's a realist and all this stuff like that. And I'm thinking, okay, if you're so darn real, why'd you come on the show? So whatever. And by the time I'm over her, I was annoyed. I'm sorry, but I was so annoyed with that. So then we go until we save the best for last. Lauren and Cameron. This to me felt more like a real wedding than all of them. The cake was beautiful that they had and everything. And her dad coming in, seeing her in her dress, but she looked really beautiful. She was still a little like, I'm not really sure. She was scared, and she couldn't believe it. And I think with Lauren, the main thing that she was afraid of was that she was kind of afraid of just giving up her singleness. She looked like she enjoyed it. You know how you just become accustomed to a lifestyle. It's you in your own home and all this different stuff like that. But that man, Cameron knew without a shadow of a doubt that was the woman for him. And we finally see his mom. And I was like excited about that because when all the other family on the family episode, when everybody was coming together, maybe I just don't remember, but I don't remember seeing her meet his family. I didn't see that. His mom, I feel like she didn't really like this. And I feel like, but she loves her son. And I feel like she supported him. But he made a statement that I picked up that she's one of those women who kind of like, that's my baby boy. If I'm giving you my son, like this is my son. And I think maybe that's why, because she goes like, you're not my little baby anymore. She started crying, so anyway, so they're at the altar and they both say I do. And I'm so excited for them. I was super excited. I go, oh my God, I can't wait to look back on Instagram, y'all, and see these pictures that they probably been taking this last year that they've been married and they couldn't post because of the show. Cameron, so my side notes was that Lauren looked beautiful. The moment she had with her dad was beautiful. When Cameron started crying as she walked down the aisle, that was so sweet. It seemed so much like a real wedding. Like, how you go to a wedding and this couple have been engaged for like a year or two, and that man sees that woman, and that's how I felt. And I was like, they found their person. Like, they found this experiment actually, it worked, and they found their person. And I thought, that's amazing. He kept saying how blessed. He just felt so blessed that God allowed him to meet her. He said she was what was missing from his life. And I thought that was so amazing. At the altar, another side note that I thought was cute and funny. Lauren was funny. She was so funny when she was doing the vows, and she kind of said a bad word, and she was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, Pastor. Like, and all that stuff. So I thought that was funny. But the vows were beautiful. And so I kind of held my breath a little bit when they was asking her. I was like, please, girl, you got to say it, because I had got so surprised through the other weddings and you just didn't know what was coming. So, but I'm so happy for them. Like I said, I'm so happy. I went straight to Instagram and I looked and I seen their picture together and I thought that was beautiful and everything. And my last note about their wedding I thought was funny was when they were talking to the cameraman, and Cameron goes, "I locked that down." And I was like, that's funny. You know, that boy said, "I found somebody good and I locked it down. No questions asked." You guys, I hope that you enjoyed my review. It went on way longer than I thought it would have been. So I'm so sorry. If you want to kind of scurry on through this, that's cool. But before you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Turn it on for my next review. I'm coming with a lock and key review from Netflix shows. So if you guys love Netflix and you haven't checked out the show, go ahead yet before I put some spoilers on this YouTube page. I hope you enjoyed my page. Comment below. Tell me what you thought about the weddings and which dress was your favorite. Okay, guys, until next time. Bye.